Imagine a world without free knowledge. Along with a bunch of other sites, Wikipedia, the online encyclopedia, has shut down its website, at least its English language website, for the next 24 hours. It's in protest over legislation before the US Congress. A series of anti-piracy bills is being debated by Congress. On one side of the debate, Hollywood and big media companies want tough laws to stop online piracy, which they say are costing billions of dollars to content creators. But on the other side of the debate, online giants Google, Twitter, Facebook, eBay and Wikipedia are opposed to this legislation. To tell us why and how Wikipedia arrived at this unprecedented decision to shut down the site for 24 hours, we're joined by Liam Wyatt. He's a spokesperson for Wikipedia based in Sydney. Liam, thanks for your time. What is wrong with the anti-piracy bills before Congress at the moment?
Thanks for having me. The two bills are called SOPA, Stop Online Piracy Act, and PIPA, Protect IP Act. And they go in tandem. They're basically the same thing going through different houses of the American legislation system. They both purport to stop or make it easier for American companies to stop links from foreign websites that might contain copyrighted material, because most of the piracy or purported piracy is coming from websites outside of US jurisdiction. These bills would increase the powers available to copyright holders to complain about links being provided to the external websites hosted overseas.
So, just to be clear here, the provision in this bill that Wikipedia is upset about is stopping sites like Wikipedia, putting a link to an offshore site that might have pirated content on it. What really is wrong with that? If the site has what is illegal material on it, why should there be a link on the Wikipedia page to it?
Well, for one, the definition of what constitutes illegal material is extremely vague, or an illegal foreign website is an extremely vague definition, and the drafters of this bill actually mock in their Congress markup sessions the idea that they would understand how the technology of the internet works. So it's an extremely poorly drafted bill that leaves a lot of scope for overreaching the intended or the proposed purpose of this bill. What will actually happen, more likely, is that things people in power or the Hollywood industries don't like, as opposed to actually are illegal, will start getting blocked as well. Now, of course, we're not talking about major bootlegging industries out of China or Russia. We're talking about individual links off YouTube pages or Flickr posts or Wikipedia articles. Now, of course, Wikipedia does not link to or is not a copyright violator itself, but that doesn't mean that there might be someone maliciously or unintentionally linking to something that someone else thinks is a bad idea. We think it's unfair.
But could the legislation be drafted better to more narrowly define, more precisely define the bad sites from those that you're worried could inadvertently be caught in the net?
The legislation as it is written is a censorship legislation, not a copyright protection legislation. It's rather like the bill that we have, the policy of the Australian government towards filtering, that has been quiet for about a year now, but is still the official policy of the Australian government. It puts the onus on the websites and the search engines like Google to proactively police what might or might not appear on their own websites, which basically has a chilling effect on especially smaller or startup companies. Many venture capital funders have said that they're not going to touch startup websites now if this legislation were to go through, because
what about something like Google? This is a huge Google's a huge company, makes a lot of money, and this is the site that most people would use, Yahoo, Google, those sort of sites. Why shouldn't they be policing the copyright infringers that they might have links to?
There are already very well drafted and active copyright infringement legislation in America, most specifically the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, which says as long as you have a policy of taking down the links and being very careful when people tell you there is a problem, then you have what's called a safe harbour. Now, Wikipedia goes even further than that. Our volunteer community, of which I am one, we proactively make sure that there is no copyright infringing material. This legislation, though, goes so far as it is not a copyright problem, it's now a censorship bill.
But do you acknowledge, I guess this is getting to the heart of it, that at the moment there is a problem, that content creators, be it film, television, music, are losing significant amounts of money through online piracy?
The amount of money that they're actually losing through alleged piracy is up for grabs. They say a lot, many say not much. But the point is that this kind of piracy through online file sharing, torrenting for example, will not be stopped by this kind of legislation. This legislation will stop links and will stop websites. But that piracy happens through torrenting platforms, which are a completely different part of the internet. This is what I'm talking about when the drafters of the legislation don't understand how the internet actually works. It's 2011.
And is there no way of stopping that? Is that what you're saying? There is no way of stopping that? This is just a reality of the internet?
The reality of the internet is it is a neutral platform on which information passes backwards and forwards. Having a legislation that says you can stop a URL, a website, from being linked to is an irrelevant mechanism for stopping piracy. All you would need to do as an end user is type in the IP address of that website and not its name, and you would still access it perfectly well. So this is a completely ineffective legislation and has a chilling effect on the free sharing of information, which is why Wikipedia opposes it.
And Liam, tell me this, what if these laws were to pass through Congress, what would it mean for Wikipedia as we know it and many of us use it? What would it mean for the site?
We would have to make a thorough assessment of how we would stop people putting links up live like we currently do, and would have to have some kind of centralised review system whereby every edit or every external link was passed by some kind of human and technical filter, probably. We've not made any elaborate plans for this. Ultimately, we're hoping to stop the legislation and not make a very expensive backup plan. Google as well is very worried about what this is going to happen with this bill. That's why they also have a big banner up asking Americans to contact their local member of Congress. Now, this does affect Australians as well. Whilst Google, Wikipedia, Facebook and those other websites are based in America and therefore have to follow American laws, we've decided to block out Wikipedia for 24 hours globally because it will affect everyone internationally, including here in Australia.
And just finally, the actual decision that Wikipedia has taken here is unprecedented in shutting down the English language site for 24 hours. Tell us a bit about how Wikipedia arrived at this decision.
Well, Wikipedia is a community of volunteers that has a consensus model of decision making. So whilst we are neutral in the content that we provide, all of the articles are neutral, they don't take a point of view, they verify their facts. We have an ideological position on free speech. So we as a community decided by consensus that something needed to be done, we needed to protest, and that this unprecedented strike, effectively, should happen. We voted on it over the last week, how to go about doing that, and the consensus was decided upon that we would block the entire website globally for 24 hours.
Liam Wyatt from Wikipedia, thanks so much for joining us and giving us the perspective and update on where things are at with this unprecedented move. Thanks very much.
Thank you.